this voice from the bar area goes, "Try the salted caramel. It's divine." Allie, we all stopped and did this.
Divine.
It's the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. The rules are gone. The shirt is untucked. Here's Scott and Allie.
Hey, listen, can I ask you a quick favor as we get started with the podcast here?
Sure.
I'm kind of sick of being on the bottom. Can I go on top for a while?
Oh, yeah. Like, wait, how do I move that? How do I?
There you go. Look at that.
I couldn't remember how to do it. I usually just have it as automatic.
I was sort of just not going to say anything. I figured, well, that's the way she likes it. But this time I'm like,
no, it automatically loads it like that because I'm the one that starts the podcast.
I know. That's so great. Hey, welcome to the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. I'm going to pick up right where we left off last week when you were talking about the people at the museum and the different kinds of people at the museum. So you might have to go backwards and listen to the last podcast to find out the kind of people that you will always see at the museum.
Yep.
Well, I had one for you. And recently...
Did you go to a museum?
No. I was at a theater, thank you.
Oh, wait, what did you go see?
No, it wasn't that. I'll explain. So I wasn't like you where I was in all the Broadway shows over the past couple weeks,
Yeah.
No, so as it turned out, the family and I think I mentioned this on one of the podcasts, maybe last one, I'm not sure. We got invited to the Clemens Center's big annual fundraiser. Now, the Clemens Center, for anyone that's not here, I'm sure we did this on the podcast. I feel like I'm having deja vu. It's our big theater here. So we get a lot of shows that come from Broadway in different areas, and they come and perform here.
Like the Shrek one. That one looks so fun.
That is going to be awesome. Addams Family is coming next year.
Oh, that's my jam.
Exactly. So you get the idea. Every city has one. I mean, up in Buffalo, they have Shays Theater. So at any rate, there's an interesting bunch at the theater. Now, we did not see a show. Their annual fundraiser was on May 4th. So they did an event which tied in Star Wars and they tied in Legos. We have a store here, Empire Bricks is the name of it. And they have some of the most incredible Lego kits, like really not what you go to Target to get for the kids for a birthday. I'm talking some of these can be hundreds of dollars or more.
Wow.
They had from Star Wars, they had all the ships in Lego form and they were big. I mean, and somebody put them together, right?
Yep.
They had a Star Destroyer. That's the big triangle ship. You had to have seen it when watching it with your mom. And, all these different things and all these cool Lego displays. And then they had a Star Wars theme where they had local lightsaber people that actually fence with lightsabers. So the family...
Did they also have... like a Star Wars themed food? Like, did they have like Princess Leia's Cinnabons?
Well, that would have been great. Sort of they did. They actually had a really nice catering company out of Ithaca that had come in and they kind of themed it around that.
And I would like to see, because your kids were there, did they have the blue milk?
They did not have the blue milk because...
You know what? Let me play in your event next time.
Well, here's the thing. It was mostly a 12 and up event, but Gavin is, almost 10. By the time this podcast airs, Lydia will be 5 the very next day because this releases on Tuesday. Lydia's birthday is Wednesday the 15th. So she's,
Wait,
what?
Listen.
Yeah.
Okay, just because you're over the age of 12 doesn't mean you can't drink milk. Our coworker, Sean, I just saw him guzzling the whole tall thing from Burned Dairy. I think it was Burned Dairy.
Yeah.
Like one of those tall glass jugs of milk. This dude inhales milk. And my friend Danielle, who she was just visiting us in studio a second ago.
Wait, Danielle's here?
Yeah. She came to pick up her baby.
Jeez.
So
love Danielle.
She guzzles milk whenever she eats spaghetti and everything. Every dinner.
Spaghetti and milk?
I know. Doesn't it sound disgusting? She does this gross thing where she puts, you make spaghetti like you normally would.
Yeah.
Then take a piece of white bread, peanut butter, and then she puts spaghetti in it and eats it like that. Is that not the grossest sounding thing ever?
Pardon me.
Yeah. She drinks milk every evening for dinner.
I know for a fact our coworker Sean drinks literally a gallon of milk in 2 days.
Oh my God.
Somebody ain't getting the osteoporosis hunchback. Let me put it that way.
What? I have not, and I know this is not the point of this story. I have not drank a glass of milk I can't even think of when.
I was
Because
going to
now-
say the exact same thing. It's probably been 10 years since I actually had an actual glass of milk.
Because do you remember when you were a kid and you would have cookies or cake or something and you would
Yes.
go, oh my God, I need a glass of milk. Well, now as an adult, I still have that same sensation of like, oh, I need a glass of milk, but I normally don't really have it on hand. So a lot of times I just go for coffee, even if I am. My dad and I were just in the city. We talked
We've
about that a
crossed
lot.
that border of life.
Yeah, well, we talked about me being in the city a lot the last podcast, but we would have dessert at whatever restaurant we were at, and especially when we were in Little Italy, and we had, the tiramisu or the chocolate layer cake or whatever. And so I went with coffee instead of a glass of milk.
I am right there with you. I could not be more with you on this. It has
Okay.
been forever since I've done a glass of milk. Let me tell you though, with a plate full of chocolate chip cookies, a Jameson and ginger is a very nice.
That sounds like it would hurt my teeth, actually. No, I cannot even with you.
I've never done it. I'm kidding.
No,
But wouldn't
that's
that
like,
be
oh
great?
my God. I don't understand. I've done this once or twice and it does not fare well. People who bite into like a Snickers or a Milky Way and then drink Coke or Sprite or something.
It kills the
Oh,
Coke.
Oh, not even just that. Like my teeth hurt so
Yeah,
bad.
yes.
How is it that you consume those two things, one right after the other, like bite, sip,
Yep.
or bite, sip, sip, sip?
It's like a volcano on your teeth. I don't know what. It's the weirdest thing though.
I feel them decaying. Anyway.
Oh,
so you're at the Clemens Center.
Yeah, and all
They
this.
didn't do Princess Leia Cinnabons anyway.
They didn't do the Cinnabons, but they did do some light theming, like the Emperor's balls, meatballs.
Okay.
I don't
I was
know.
like, I do not remember seeing his ball sack in the movie, but okay.
I do not. Why do you think Vader was breathing like this? Well, no. So it was a great night. It was beautiful. And one of the things that was there is they had the open bar. Now, none of us drank. I mean, the kids just wanted soda that night. So,
Oh, they weren't having JMO and ginger? Shocking.
Sorry, I got
Like, of
myself
course,
on that one.
Your obvious statements are really mind-boggling.
I know, right? So at any rate, right next to that was Cayuga Lake. Now, Cayuga Lake's one of the lakes here. For those that are not around the Finger Lakes, Cayuga Lake Creamery, and they make their own ice cream, and it's amazing. So that was one of the stations you could go to and get a treat from as you move through the event. Like the buffet or whatever. So the first place we stopped before we even got the real food or anything else was the Creamery, and this is where it goes into the odd people that are at a theater. I don't think I've used the word divine ever in my life, ever in normal conversation. In fact, I am a positive.
Wait, but what about when we do all of our drag stuff? When Scott dresses in drag? No,
Well,
I'm
there's
kidding.
a Miss Divine, and I introduce her, but that's about it.
Okay, this is also for anyone who's never been to this. I do have to set this up a little bit.
Sip of water.
We have an event called Dragged Out to Sea, where once a year we get about 6 drag queens who will perform on a boat, and they do their various little shows and everything. And that is a time where I would say, oh my gosh, Miss Viola, she's so divine.
But you've never actually said it. Yeah, I have never.
This cookie is divine.
Well, that's where I'm going. So so the way the station was set up was there was the ice cream station. Directly to the right of that, if I was facing the ice cream station, was one of the bar sections. And they had some older people that were working the bars. I'm not using that I'm just describing. I'm nothing to do with age whatsoever. Just these were the folks, whether they were volunteers or whatever, were working the station.
Scott didn't want to discriminate against his best friends. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Listen, we all emptied out of the home for the night,
Right.
So at any rate, I'm there and we're all like, oh, what are the flavors you have? Because it's not like when you go to an ice cream shop and they have the little tags where they're like, here's Superman, here's this. And I didn't expect they were going to have cotton candy ice cream from a homemade creamery, right?
Yeah.
Well, all the ice creams were delicious that we had. We ended up having Holy Cow, which was incredible. There was a mint chocolate chip, which was the best I've ever had. And then this voice from the bar area goes, try the salted caramel. It's divine. Allie, we all stopped and did this.
Divine.
Divine.
Yeah.
So
is it
and
divine?
now, none of us actually had the salted caramel. We all went with different options. I don't know if it was a bias to it or what.
I don't like salted caramel stuff. I don't like salted anything.
I've never.
Except
there's
for,
a joke
except
there.
for the obvious. Yeah.
She likes that a lot.
Even that. That's only for your birthday.
I might need a minute.
For the record, we're recording on a Friday.
Oh, jeez.
And maybe that should be a regular thing. Although we said that once when we recorded. Remember one time we recorded at like 5 a.m.?
We had no sleep.
And it was a great podcast. Not that they're not all great. But maybe Fridays are the key.
I guess. So,
Anyway.
So back to Divine.
Yes.
And then I got to tell you about the message that I got on my phone a minute ago because I'm in a complete panic mode. And I'll tell you in a minute.
Oh, God.
So, no, it's not a bad thing. You're going to laugh at that, too.
Okay.
So, at any rate, I'm sorry, I'm having some voice problems today. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm really forcing it out, and I haven't screamed in a long time.
I told you, I think it's the outside. Both of us, I know this is something that I feel like my mom would always say something to me about this whenever I was growing up. And I really do believe it, though. I was outside and you were outside, not together, but extensively yesterday.
Yes.
And
I had
am
2
having
soccer practices back to back.
Yes, I'm having the same thing. I think it was just the different. It was all the pollen in the air. That pollen will just get you every
it's
one.
gagging me.
Yeah, exactly.
So after the Divine thing, you know, and that I'm realizing these are some of the people you get at a theater. Is at the museum. At the museum, what was it? The know-it-all, the idiot, and
what?
The agreeer. That's what you described last week.
At the museum.
Know-it-all, the idiot, and the agreeer. That's really what it is.
Yes.
Well, I have the Divine, the Delectable, and the Delicioso.
I am a big fan of Delicioso. And actually,
Jesus.
so I say Delicioso all the time. Now
You also do the stupid chef's kiss in the air, and you have no Italian in you. You're the most Armenian thing I've ever seen.
My significant other now says Delicioso.
Your house is so annoying.
He'll do it in this stupid voice too, because he knows that it's such a me thing.
Yes.
So he exaggerates it like I do.
Yes.
So I'll make him a burger or something, and he'll be like, "Oh, this is Delicioso."
Give me the stupid chef's kiss, like your Boyardee. Oh God.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, so the chef's kiss. What is it?
Other words that I never say, but I like the word pristine. It's not very often that I'll say the word pristine either.
Yeah, in common everyday language, you're not walking up and be like, man, I got to tell you, your Ford Fusion is pristine.
Yeah, the only time I say it is if I do get my car detailed.
Oh, that's pristine.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
But that's another one. I don't use it in any other context.
No, not whatsoever. So, Divine.
Divine. Delicioso. What was the other one?
Delectable.
Delectable. Oh, yeah. But I do want to start saying that now.
What, delectable?
Yeah.
It's here's another one
I'm
for
going to take
you.
a bite of just a regular meatball. That is, wait, delectable. Like, give me a pause on it. You know, that is delectable.
You know where you'd have something delectable?
Where?
Also something super fucking pretentious at a luncheon.
Oh, yes.
So,
It's like a little crostini.
Yeah, we're going to have
a
luncheon, okay, with delectable treats that are delicioso from a Divine location. Take your pompous ass and stick your foot in it.
Oh, my gosh. I love it.
So moments ago, and I have to backstory this too. So yesterday, Gavin comes through the door. Oh my God. So he is a really good kid. His honesty gauge is through the roof. Like
it's shocking that he's your son.
I'm going to move on.
Because Scott's phrase is, do now, ask for forgiveness later. Gavin comes through the door. Dad, I pulled some kid's hair or whatever.
Well, the other phrase, it ain't right, but it ain't quite wrong either, you know. So
I do love that one.
That one too. So his moral compass could not be more north if he tried. This is Gavin. I mean, that is to a T.
I do love that about him.
But now you mix that in with bus antics where you get a bunch of kids, you get 40 kids on a bus, and they're all going to start screaming at each other. That's a job I could not do. You think my voice is strained now? Holy mother.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's why you got to do the accidental brake check.
Yep. We knew someone. We knew someone. Oh, it was a squirrel crossing the road.
That's exactly it.
Jeez. So, at any rate, super honest, but then gets riled up with his friends. Apparently one of his friends, and who, by the way, also has 2 initials, and the kid goes by the 2 initials, which goes along with what you had mentioned already, that someone only gets on their birthday. So without me saying it, because now I'm off the hook. If, say, a parent's listening, they're not going to be like, oh, well, that's wrong. I haven't said anything. I didn't say a thing. All I did was I reminded you of what she said.
But let me pause right here. And I love, why are you even editing yourself for the podcast, my friend?
Well, I don't want somebody to feel bad.
This might make you feel bad. So when I was
like the woman that thinks it's absolutely divine.
When I was working in Columbus, I worked Saturday mornings. I produced for this guy. And so we always had somebody overnight, and he had those same initials. Let's say his name was Ben Jackson. Okay. Ben Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I'm going to say his name. I don't even care. So his name was BJ Patton, but instead of calling him BJ, we called him Blowjob Patton. Wait. And then, because I came into work right after him, so I would get on the internet and, I'm researching for the guy I'm producing for. It was always porn. And I was like,
oh, no way.
I could never.
How did he not get fired?
I don't think anyone.
Well, you know what? That goes to show corporate never checks.
No.
Because if you come in and there was that. Oh my God, please tell me you Clorox wiped that control board afterwards. You can't watch that much and not have some sort of reaction.
We didn't have Clorox wipes at the time. And the only thing that was different
were the buttons were sticky when he was on a day off, or they weren't sticky?
And I could never use the same chair that he did.
Wise move. You might have had 3 kids already.
Right outside of, and he got married. That was
3 little BJs running around.
Which is shocking.
Oh my God.
So right outside of the studio was our newsroom, and there was lots of chairs. So I would prop open the door, take Blowjob Patton's chair out, and then bring in my own chair. And a friend of mine I worked with and went to school with a guy named Scott as well. It's something with Scott's.
Yeah.
So he used to always say, I wonder if you'll be able to hear this when I do this.
Well, just tell him. He'll go listen.
No, I don't know if listeners will be able to hear this.
Oh.
So he would say, this is what it's like during BJ's shift. Underneath the console. I'm like, Scott, no. I'm the one that comes in right after him.
2 a.m. Time to spank it.
Ew, gross.
Jeez. God. Yeah, you never learned that in basic radio engineering class, polishing the knob?
What do you mean?
Nothing.
Do you like I just said, what do you mean?
What?
Okay, so back to the school bus. Go back.
So,
I don't know anything.
Super honest kid, right? Moral compass straight up, right?
Yes.
And
all right,
probably like BJ was most of the night with all the porn tabs open. But anyway, that being said, yeah, bring it all back. So then, of course, what happens on the bus, you get kids saying stuff to other kids, and they dare each other to do things.
Oh, yeah.
Gavin comes in off the bus yesterday, throws his bag down, and I'm like, what's going on, buddy? And he's like, almost got in trouble on the bus. And I'm like, what happened? He goes, one of my friends dared me to say that their mom was fat, and I did. And here I am. Really, buddy? Is that what you were dared to say, that mom was fat? And I'm holding my hand over my mouth like, really? And I almost got kicked off the bus and this and that. And I'm like, okay. I said, let this be a lesson. Of course, here comes Dad first after I've done this. Okay, well, what we're going to have to do is this. Gavin, if a friend of yours said, go jump off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? No. Okay, well then if they tell you to say their mom's fat, what should we do next time? And he's like, well, I shouldn't say it. I said, there you go. I said,
next
no
time
big deal.
tell him, say, your mama's so fat she uses Google Earth to take a selfie.
No, I actually told him your mama's so fat that when she stretches out her arms, she's in 2 different time zones. So anyway, then
what was the one? I got one more.
your mama's so fat when she sits around the house.
She sits around the house.
That's another classic.
No, another one that I heard growing up was your mom is so fat she uses a bed sheet as a maxi pad.
I've never heard that.
Do you like how I Googled the first one but could remember the second one like right there?
He's too young to know what a maxi pad is, but I can't wait to get home and tell 6059 that one. So
okay, so he called somebody's mom fat.
So at any rate,
Yes.
I'm fully waiting for the bus driver because Gavin's allowed to walk into the house himself because he's in 3rd grade, but I have to go out and get Lydia because she's in pre-K.
Wait, what? Back it up. Everything has to be dissected here.
Yes.
Your kids are at school at an age they can and cannot walk to their houses by themselves?
From the bus. So
What happens if my mom's at work?
well, there has to be an adult home. You can't leave.
Oh, that's right. You
can't leave a pre-K or home at home.
Although, you want to know what?
Holy shit.
No. Listen. Now, this is bringing up something that I'm just remembering. My brother is 3 years older than me, but we would get off the bus. I'd be in like 2nd grade, and it would be my brother and me. Nobody knew if there was an adult home or not, and there was not.
No, honey, that was 1992. Okay, this is not going to fly anymore. Remember what I also told you about Gavin? Almost 10 years old. Moral compass, straight up pointing north.
Yeah.
Maturity, due south into hell, pointing south. So
Okay.
it would not be a good move, right?
Right.
So there has to be an adult home. Well, I go out and I get Lydia every day, and I'm waiting for the bus driver. I'm waiting for it because this is now Gavin's in the house. This is an hour later. I'm waiting for the bus driver to say something, which she didn't. I will tell you that there was nothing said. So obviously between dad and the bus driver, he won't be calling somebody else's mom fat again, even though he was dared to do it. Right.
Yep.
But I was fully loaded. Had that bus driver said to me, well, you know, Gavin said somebody's mom was fat on the bus. I was going to look straight at the bus driver and be like, well, the real question is his mom's fat?
Oh my God.
I was ready.
No.
I was ready to go.
That is not how you do that.
Really? You're the one that's letting pre-Kers stay at home alone 2 seconds ago on the podcast.
You know, I think I was mature. I was very mature.
Okay, that was also 1992. What's wrong? That's the question, though. The real question is, was he factual?
Well, no, because that is the. Who are you to say if they're fat or not fat?
Well, his son would have been the one reporting it.
Only the doctor. Because one of our coworkers just told me that she went to the doctor and they said that she was morbidly obese. She was like, okay, I know I'm chunky, but for me to because you know how they have the chart?
Morbidly
yeah,
obese.
and they have the chart where it'll say like if your fat percentage is blah, blah, blah. She goes, morbidly obese.
There's only one more level.
What?
Whoa!
I was going to say my 600-pound life.
Yes. There's a TV show waiting.
Yes.
Morbidly obese. Wow, that's harsh.
That's
some people you just got to, not to be rude, but if you're a doctor, you can say it.
That's what I thought.
But think about it. What's wrong with my question? I'm looking for facts.
Because you're not a doctor.
Okay. Well, anyway, I could
I
be.
just play one on the radio.
So the next thing is I get a phone call from the school today. It's an automated message. It was not anyone connected directly to it. Apparently, somebody may have used a word that made kids feel a certain way in school today. Now,
what was the word?
No, they didn't say. And they said they addressed it right away and they handled it, and that's understood. And they said, please understand the policy of the school. I'm paraphrasing. We don't tolerate threatening situations or threatening behavior or actions like that. Although we do know some children may have been affected by, their feelings from hearing a kid use this. Now, I'm telling you now, it was not my kid, because what do I do as a parent? I forget there's 200 other kids in the school.
Yeah.
I go, what did he say? But I can't be the only parent that got this message. Now, I'm glad the school handled it, and I'm sure they handled it extremely well. But of course, your brain goes to, oh my God, that's right. There are other kids in the school, and there's even higher grades in the school. So I like to think that it was an older kid that did it. But I panicked for a minute because I'm like, and then I start going through my phone. I'm like, did his teacher message me? Because we all use an app and all that.
Well, I was thinking I would have gotten suspended 90 times because, and I blame Gail. Because my mom used to always...
That's a healthy therapeutic response.
And I still say these same phrases. My mom used to always say, I'm going to A, beat you to a bloody pulp. And did your mom ever say that?
Yep.
Okay. And I remember...
Actually, those exact words.
And I remember repeating these lines. Or she would get mad about something and she'd be like, I'm going to kill you. You know, like it might be something where
but it goes like this. I am going to kill you if we have to go to the car.
That's exactly it.
It's different when you say it with your teeth together as opposed to, Allie, I'm going to kill you.
But I remember being...
That's a bit psychopathy.
I know, but I remember being on the... like the recess, the playground. I remember being on the playground saying that same thing to some of my friends, like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you," and then chasing them.
Right.
That's just how times have changed. Even if I would have said that lightly on the playground, I would have been in so much trouble.
I think kids might still throw that around a little bit. I think because I although technically speaking, it's not an appropriate way to speak to someone, but it's really tough to go back like we're suddenly in the 1950s going, gosh darn it, I'm going to be so upset with you, dang it.
I know, but I will
you're
say,
kids, right?
I do love a good old school, like, peas and carrots or something.
Cheese and rice.
Whenever I hear it, I do love it. And I totally want to go back there. But I know there's times I'm like, oh my God, Zach, I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you.
Yes, exactly.
I have to figure out how the way to say this. I would expect that what had happened was it was either I have no idea, but I think garnering a phone call automated from the school to all parents to inform them something happened, that it would have either been a racial lean, maybe a sexual lean, sexuality lean.
I wasn't even thinking that for that age.
I don't think. Well, no, but remember, there's older grades that are in the school, and I don't know. I'm speculating. I just would like to think that it wasn't, something. It had to be something enough that made people go, "Wow." It could have been religious or I don't know.
What's weird to me also, and then I'll get out of like 1992, is that. You guys all get a phone call about it.
Automated message. And I am glad. Look, on that note, I'm glad that they're addressing certain things. We don't need a generation of people. Listen, I graduated high school in 1989. And the things that were said to other students back then, I can't even say them on the podcast as an example.
Oh, no.
But, and phrases... You just can't anymore. You just can't. It's just not a society. And it is okay. I'm not saying this as though, geez, I wish we could bring back a couple of those gems.
Right. Scott's like, yeah, can we bring back the R word? Like, no.
I was thinking the H word, but that's here nor there.
Hell?
What?
I don't know.
No, we got to add a mo on that. But never mind. If you listen to the podcast back, you'll get it all. So I'll text you.
Why are you moving too fast
I'll text you so that nobody knows. But here's a word you can't say. I have to find you in my text. Hold on one second. I want to make sure.
Shouldn't I be at the top? Come on.
Well, you are close. Oh, there you are. So, here's one. I love this phrase, but you can't do it anymore.
Oh,
and
God.
there it is. I just texted it to Allie.
Okay.
You can't do it.
I will say.
You can't say that anymore.
I will say without saying.
Can you delete that after this, by the way?
Yeah. I will say without saying. There are some of these phrases that, how do I get rid of this? Okay, there we go.
Oh, there are some phrases that have come back that actually were wrong for a long time.
Queer.
That's the one right there.
Yep. Totally. That was so wrong when I was younger.
Yep.
And now it's like, I'm queer, you're queer, we're queer.
Yeah, everybody's queer.
Yes, exactly. Which on that note, I find out that I know somebody who recently in the past 2 years tells me, she's queer. And I was like, all right, well, you're dating this guy, but okay. And so that kind of threw me. Well, then they broke up. And I was like, oh, this is getting
She go find herself a fine
lady.
Fine lady.
Yes. I was like,
God.
now she was planting the seed in my head. Well,
Wait,
I don't think
to
she was trying
join her.
No.
thank God. Okay.
Meaning, like, I think she was thinking about leaving.
Took a lot of years to squash the Allie's a lesbian rumor. We don't need that coming back.
I know. But although maybe I wanted to come back. No.
You be as queer as you want to be.
I'm just kidding. But Zach would be like, sweet. No, I'm just kidding.
Awesome.
Yeah, right. So what was I saying? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Oh, but okay. Yeah, I think we made our point with the queer thing. But okay, I do have to say there is other phrases that when I was younger definitely are not okay, but I hear certain communities bringing them back, like queer. It's in that same realm. I'm not going to say the word because I really don't feel comfortable saying it.
Right.
But they will.
Did you want to text it to me?
It's the same word that you're saying.
Oh.
I'm sorry, the same word you texted.
Wait, that's coming back?
I have heard the gay community say that word in such a jokey manner with each other. I know.
I can't go there. I'm not.
That's what I said. I'm not
gay enough.
Right. That's exactly what I feel.
You know, like it's.
I am not gay enough to say that word either.
No, because I don't want to be disrespectful.
Right.
By the way, the whole point
But
of
if I ever do,
if you ever swing that way, that's the first one coming out.
oh yeah, if I ever switch teams, you better.
She's gonna walk into wherever the buffet of gay people is, and you're gonna be like, looking for a.
The buffet of gay people.
Wait, wouldn't that be a nice dating night if you're gay?
Oh.
You know? I mean, come on. There's nothing wrong with what we're saying. I'm not making funny. I think everybody has a hard time finding their right match. We used to do speed dating. Why couldn't you do the buffet of gay?
I really think
big old gay buffet.
Yes, and I think
there is nothing wrong with what I'm saying.
No, not at all. I think that we should bring speed dating back, though. I think a different generation is sick of dating online sometimes.
You know, I think you're right.
I met my significant other online, but it can be tough. And I shed a tear or two when I was in the dating scene.
Sure.
It would be something different. I think I would be very nervous.
But it brings back something right away, face to face. And that's something that when you're online dating, and I've never online dated, but I had friends that, including yourself, that have done it. And anybody, like the profile, looking for somebody with no drama. Well, let me tell you what that means.
All drama.
If you have drama and you don't have to their level of drama, you ain't going to work out.
Right.
All right. If you don't have 4 or 5 baby daddies in family court, and you don't have like about 6, 7 paychecks coming in from child support,
right,
ain't going to work out.
Right.
Ain't going to happen there. So back to what I was saying with that, I was very pleased to know the school did address that. I just had that panic moment. My kid's not a bad kid, but we all forget there's 200 to 300 other kids in the school.
I forgot
the likelihood, the odds are with me.
I forgot that's what we were talking about. Honestly, yeah, your kid is too good.
I hope he stays that way.
Unless you're right, it would happen with like a peer pressure of somebody.
That's what it is. It's messing around on the bus and stuff like that. You said you had 2 things for the podcast, and I completely monopolized this thing, and I'm sorry.
So I don't know if I want to get into it. One of them is an interesting side hustle. Rover is a very popular pet walking app.
Yes.
Or anything like that, in that same vein.
Yes.
Of people who are really into paying for things for their pets. So this is a side hustle.
Much like Turtle Alert. Very into picking up your dog's shit.
You know what? That's funny. I've thought about this because I was at the SPCA recently for something we were doing with the show. And somebody was adopting a dog. They had 3 dogs. One of them was really big. And I said, man, that must be some big poops. Of course, that's the conversation I have with this person.
That's what you think.
And she said, honestly, we have Turtle Alert. By the way, not an endorsement. They're not even paying for this advertising.
But I might consider them coming over to get Ginger's Tootsie Rolls.
Oh, my God. Ginger poops like the size of my pinky. Are you kidding me?
You got big hands.
I kind of do. I really do have big hands.
God,
I do.
Look at that.
Yeah, I do. I have really big hands.
Wow.
So,
what a grip that must be once a year.
Only on his birthday. On that note, I'll tell you the side hustle next week. It has to do with dogs. I think you can do it with cats too.
By the way, it was the 18th anniversary this past week of the Scott and Allie radio show of the two of us together.
Yes.
And we still find a way to make each other crack up like this every damn day.
That's right.
As well as the podcast. So on that note, I can't wait till next week.
Well, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Do us a favor, will you? Subscribe. Share the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. Touch our buttons. We know you want to.